It's Saturday morning and Amy is not happy that I'm going out to pick up a flip bike right now over an hour away, but I've had this idea for a little bit to demonstrate my point about photographs. Smart, reasonable guy selling this bike, but not the world's greatest photographer. And I think that might be at least part of the reason why he hasn't been able to sell it for over a month. Oscar, you want pup cup? Don't tell mommy. At one point, this bike was listed for $1150 and I just got it for $800. And aside from being dirty and probably needing a little bit of a tune-up, yeah, it is brand new in every way. The tires even got those little hair things on them. But he said he had it listed for over a month and he said he was getting lowball offers left and right. So if we just clean it and take some really good photos, we're gonna know how much the photos are actually worth. So we've got this bike back here at the shop and it's as new as it looks. The guy bought it thinking he was gonna get into mountain biking. He decided it wasn't for him. And I'm glad he was honest with himself because now we get to put this thing back on the trail before it even gets close to becoming outdated. The frame, of course, has a beautiful finish and there are really no scratches on the bike anywhere. But there are a few indicators that it was owned by somebody who wasn't that experienced with bikes. For instance, some of the C-clips popped off and the cables are all ruffled up. And so he tried to do his own repair with a zip tie and it doesn't look that professional. These are minor things that we can correct in just a couple of minutes. It also looks like he made the classic newbie mistake of over lubricating the chain. There's a lot of gunk in the jockey wheel and it just looks like it's been collecting dirt on every last bit of that lubricant. Also, as is expected with brand new bikes, you need a tune-up very shortly after purchase. I don't know if he ever did that, and so we're gonna touch up the brakes, the shifting, everything. We're gonna make sure it runs like it just left the shop. With that, all we have to do is clean it up and give it a tune-up. So let's dig in and see what we find. So we cleaned the bike real good, all the jockey wheels, the chain. But before we do anything else, I want to make sure to clean the rotors with alcohol in case we got any WD-40 on them while we were cleaning the rest of the bike. So this bike is more or less shifting okay, but there's tons of tension on the barrel adjuster. And what the barrel adjuster is this little screw up by the handlebars that allows you to adjust the tension of the cable. But it's made for quick on-the-fly adjustments, and you're not supposed to have it all the way out like that. We're gonna bring this barrel adjuster back in. We're gonna reset the cable at the rear so that the new owner has some space up here to make adjustments. So we got the shifting absolutely perfect. This bike also has hydraulic disc brakes, and so I'm gonna make sure there's no air in the levers. They feel fine, they should. It's brand new, but I'm gonna do it anyway and then get this bike prepped for photos. Ah. Reflectors. Getting rid of these is a sure way to make a mountain bike look more serious because, well, no serious mountain bike has reflectors on it. Reflectors don't do all that much on a mountain bike, and in bike shops, I'm sure there's some kind of law where you have to sell them with reflectors, but on a mountain bike trail, they tend to become garbage, and I know that when I'm gonna be riding in the road at night, I have a light with me. So a few little finishing touches here, and we're gonna be ready to take some pictures of this bike, except we've got one problem. This lighting is pretty much as bad as it gets. If you want to shoot good pictures or video of your bike or pretty much anything, it's best to wait for when the light's not like this. So basically you want overcast or you want it to be golden hour, so like 6:30 in the morning or right before it gets dark out. I would rather use a cell phone to take pictures in good lighting than this camera in crappy lighting, because over here is gonna be really bright, over here is gonna be really dim. So let's wait around for some better light and stare at it. So if it's an overcast day, you can pretty much take pictures whenever you want, but on a sunny day, it's gotta be late or early like it is now. So because we have a great bike, all we have to do is be honest. So I wrote, for sale is a 2021 Trek Roscoe 6 size medium, all original. If you can find it in stock, you could buy a brand new one right now for $1179.99 plus tax. Or you could pay cash for this one and use the money you saved to buy a helmet, pads, and riding shoes. This bike has been on a few rides, but not enough to wear the little hairs off the tires. This is kind of the entry point for a serious mountain bike, so you get hydraulic disc brakes, a Dior derailleur with a clutch, a dropper seat post, and real name brand tires. It's been cleaned meticulously and tuned up. Let's make a deal. I think this is a great deal. You're realistically gonna be paying over $1,300 for this brand new, and after you've been on 2 rides, it's gonna look and feel exactly like this one. And I would really like to get my $800 back, so I'm willing to take a little bit less than $999. I'm expecting a lot of dead-end inquiries and I'm expecting a lot of lowball offers, but let's see what this gets us. So the bike was listed for about a week and I had a fair bit of interest, a lot of lowball offers. I dropped the price to $950 and bam, all sorts of people started messaging me, so they must have had a filter on. And so it's Monday, raining out, I'm about to meet somebody to sell the bike, and if that falls through, I have a backup offer, and they're gonna have a little surprise in store. Once she agrees to buy the bike, I'm gonna slide in some extra stuff that she's gonna need, like a multi-tool, a pump, gloves, things like that, and she doesn't know that that's part of the deal. I also snuck on some upgraded ergon grips because why not? Okay, so this is interesting. She wants to meet me at a bike shop. I said, I can't sell you a bike in front of a bike shop. That's like selling food in front of a restaurant. And she said, no, they know we're coming. They're gonna check out the bike. So she must have called ahead. I would love to see a bike mechanic check over this bike because it is dialed. We no longer have a bike, it was sold. The shop checked out this bike and they said, yeah, it's perfect. It's basically a brand new bike, which we already knew. So let's go back to Berm Peak and get to the breakdown. Now the woman who bought the bike offered me $860 once she got there and saw it, and she said the reason was Bicycle Blue Book. Bicycle Blue Book is assuming if this bike is a year old, it was ridden for a year. This was ridden like 3 times. This is not in good condition. This is in astounding condition. And so I would not take $860 for it. We met in the middle at $900, and I did consider turning it down and going with my backup offer. But being greedy rarely pays off, and it's likely I would have regretted that. And so I took the cash in hand offer that was standing before me, and I think her negotiations paid off because she got a great bike for a really good price. The previous owner had that bike listed for over a month and could not sell it until I came along. We bought the bike off of him for $800 and sold it for $900 in just a week. There are times when I buy a bike that is in complete shambles, go through the entire thing with a fine-tooth comb and restore everything, and then we barely make more than $100. So we know that the listing and the pictures matter quite a bit. Make sure you clean up the bike, take good pictures, write a very descriptive and useful listing. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Wouldn't it be a great ending to this video if you went and contacted that original guy, Go back down to him with $100 and laugh in his face. Well, I did consider doing that, and that would be a great way to end this video, but I don't feel like driving back down to South Carolina, and so we're just gonna keep the extra $100 and buy more flip bikes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and if you didn't, I hope you at least found it entertaining. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.